Hey there, this is Dr. Pam Perry, and we are Speakers Magazine show today. So, April, if you're watching in the month of April and not listening to a replay, is Financial Literacy Month. And so many times we think that we go to school, we get a job, and then we retire, and then that's it. Well, for a teacher, which is our next guest, that's not always going to make the amount of money that you really, really need. So, we're going to have Dr. Bisa. She's going to tell us a little bit about how to be a paid educator. And those are the things when you have multiple streams of income or you're very well versed at what you do and people tap you on the shoulder to consult, to coach, to speak. How about that? That's a stream of income. So we're going to talk with Dr. Bisa about how she melds all this together to be that paid educator, which is the name of her book, actually. So I'm not just saying she's paid because she's paid. I'm saying that because that's the name of her book. So we'll be back and bring up Dr. Bisa right after this. So Dr. Bisa has actually been featured in Speakers Magazine, and I'm going to present that part of it so you can kind of see where she's been in our magazine. And you can see there that she has been in our magazine. And when I bring you up, you'll see that she's a little bit different now. But she is also in the April issue of the magazine as well. The April issue of the magazine, she has something new going on. I wonder, let's see, don't have it here. Uh, don't have it here right now, but you'll have to get the April magazine. The April magazine shows her doing something different and something new. So let me just read you a little bit of her background or her bio, I guess you would say. Um, really, she's an educational, motivational speaker and teacher, and she really educators really face really changing and challenging work environments. They're not often given the budgets to achieve the learning objectives and really just says that 55% of educators are really unsatisfied with their salaries. Bottom line, they aren't paid for their worth. So Dr. Bisa is leading a movement to change that. She has been called an educational powerhouse with almost 3 decades. Working in the education space, Dr. Bisa is helping educators rethink how to bring value to the marketplace. She often conducts workshops showing them how to use their expertise and skills, or maybe even products, things that they love that they have already in their wheelhouse that they will bring in. I'll let you go on and read a lot of the information about Dr. Bisa, but when I tell you she is a powerhouse, I'm going to bring her up right now. There you go. Hey there, how are you?
Hey
Good,
Pam,
good.
how are you?
So the picture is a little bit different, but the same beautiful Dr. Bisa. So I want to just say right out the bat, I love, love, love your lip. I have one as well. I have one as well. So let's just talk about this before we talk about you speaking. And that's one of the things too, because it takes a lot of bravery to create your own line, right? Your own line. And it's B to move. So tell us what it stands for, and then how long has you had this lip line?
Great. Thanks, Pam, for the invite. I always love speaking with you and your amazing following. So Bisa Tamu is my born name, Bisa Tamu Batten. Bisa means prosperity in Arabic. My father was Muslim growing up, so Bisa means prosperity. And Tamu, my middle name, means in the future. Together, it's prosperity in the future.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So it's been about a year now. I have been thinking about different colors I can wear on my lips because for a couple of decades, Pam, actually going on 3 decades, I have been in and out of a very popular cosmetics company, and I have been a sales director twice. I have earned 3 career cards, and I have had 120 plus women in my unit, and men. And I decided that, you know what, I want to be in charge of what I want my customers to have.
Yes,
And I
yes.
want to focus on what I want to focus on that I know that my customers want and need. So I decided as of actually November to go ahead and push on through and launch B to Moo. I was trying to determine what to call the company. I, played around with different names and I was doing research. My attorney was doing research and we would find similar names. So I was stumped. And at the kitchen table during Thanksgiving, we were in St. Louis. We had Cousins Weekend and Thanksgiving in the Lou. And my first cousin, Shantae in Virginia, she was there with me. She said, just call it B to Moo. She's been calling me B to Moo since we were kids.
Ah,
And I said, "Oh my gosh, that was it." And the rest, as they say, is
I
history.
love that. I love that. You know what? So one of the things, so in March, you were in there and as a speaker. So the April, just so that I can show you this right here. This is the ad. So it's like it's one thing to actually have the idea and then
Mhm.
it comes to fruition and then to actually see you in like in print, right? You're in the actual magazine. So this is actually for Speakers Magazine like the first speaker that has had a beauty product advertised. And so many women that are on the magazine covers. So said this lady here, she's from the Baltimore area, Dr. Marcia Burnett. She would now know that when she has an event to maybe put these in her bag or to use them herself. They all do photo shoots. Sharon is has a skincare line, but
Okay.
but she doesn't have cosmetics.
Mhm.
So it's a really good way to stay paid, which is a segue which is a segue to our book. So the paid educator, I know we talked about it before, but because your name, I didn't know that it meant prosperity in the future.
Mhm.
That's why you were always I feel that people your father knew that that was going to be a part of your legacy besides being a teacher because I want to let everybody know that you're a teacher, right? You taught early childhood education, elementary, principal I think of a high school, dean at a college. So all of them, all the grades for everything from like the little ones all the way to
Mhm.
things. So that's just like in you. And then you have this other side of you of just saying, okay, there needs to be something more that teachers need to be compensated. You said 55% of teachers they don't like their
That's
salary.
nice. Yeah.
So when did it really start the other, I guess you would say the other products that you had and the online products too, as well, that you had for teachers?
I would notice I was often developing whatever I needed to teach, conduct my, well, now, first of all, let's go back. As you said, when I was even teaching first grade, I developed a lot of my own materials for the children to work with in my class. Once I learned that the teachers are required to make sure children are learning the standards. The
Mhm.
textbooks are just one vehicle. They're just one way that you can use a guide to help. But the standards for that particular school district or state is what they're supposed to learn. Once they told me that, my creativity kicked in and we were studying, Egypt and bats, and they didn't want those units to end. But in those units, I was teaching math, science, social studies, because as a first grade teacher, you teach every subject except for
Mhm.
PE. And so, as I was developing, me and my teacher assistant at the time, Rose, she's a teacher of the year now, wonderful. But I'm like, I'm developing all these products for my class. Well, I know other teachers could use the same. So it started there at
Okay.
the college level, conducting professional development for educators because they had to have those hours every year of professional development to maintain their license or their certification. So as I was developing these materials to conduct training, I knew that I may not always train them on the totality. I wanted to train them on everything, but I may not always have that opportunity. So, with the books I've written and the national curriculum wings, wonder, interest, needs, goals, and skills,
I
I
like that.
created wings curriculum to help early educators in all aspects throughout the day with the children. And so, products is one of the 10 chapters in the Paid Educator book. Is 10 professional ways to increase your teaching salary.
Mhm.
And I wanted to say professional because I teaching, I during the holidays have worked at department stores. I have done other things outside, but I want you to show you how to maintain your dignity. Working at a department store is fine. Driving ride share is fine, but
But
look at
leverage your education.
leverage your education and your experience, and that's what the paid educator is all about.
That is so good. That is good. So I have scrolling across the bottom here our B to move beauty.com, where you're actually having a launch coming up soon. I think I see that, or you
I had
have
one
it.
Saturday. I had Sunday. This couple of days. I had an in person sip, pout, and play
Right.
in my
I like that.
hometown.
I like that. So you have so many things that you do. It's marketing, and when you speak, what are some of the main things that people are asking you to speak on? I know obviously education is one area, but what are you finding now with you branching out into other areas and really doing more online, and you do nonprofit work and
Mhm.
consulting as well. So what are like the main things that people are calling on you to speak about?
Women's empowerment for sure,
Mhm. Mhm.
and definitely business entrepreneurship.
Yes, yes.
The
That's
COVID. Yeah, so people have had so many brain children, if you will, that were birthed out of COVID.
mhm.
But they don't
Mhm.
always know how to conceptualize those and bring them to fruition
Bring it
appropriately.
to market. Yeah, bring it
Yeah,
to market.
so bring it to market, whatever your skill is that you're trying to create a business. So many people have business, and I love that. But
Mhm,
it's so important that they do it the right way. And
mhm.
so through my foundation, Dr. Bisa Foundation, yes, we provide college scholarships as well, but
Oh,
we also support entrepreneurship, business development, because we know that people don't always know that they need to all the steps they need to do in their state and nationally to be in line with all the laws.
that's true. People don't know what they don't know. And so
Mhm.
you had a series of webinars that you did at one point as well when you were doing the webinars and really just sharing the information about what your foundation does, about the scholarships for entrepreneurs. But
Mhm.
what I find is so interesting is this is an actual product, right? This is something that we can buy, and I've got to buy more of these. It feels really good on your lips too. That's the other thing. So there's a lot of pretty colors, but if it doesn't feel good on your skin, on your lips, I'm not gonna wear it. So
And it's cruelty-free, Pam, that was important to me. It's
oh,
cruelty-free, so no parabens, yes.
good.
Gluten-free, there are a number of vegan options as well, yes.
Oh, good, good. And so the thing that I want to say when people ask you to speak at women's empowerment and businesses and that kind of thing, they probably have excuses that it's too late for me. I'm too old. I don't want to pivot now. I'm just going to sit here. What keeps Dr. Bisa going? It's like, you know what? I have had 3 decades doing something else. Now I'm going to do this. I'm not going to say the age, right? But it's like, I would say you're at least north of 40.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, wow. I'm north of 50, actually.
North of 50. So a lot of people who are north of 50, I would say those are the women empowerment, even though they have a lot of skills and knowledge, but they don't want to try anything new. What keeps Dr. Bisa just reinventing herself? I love it. I love it.
I focus on things that I enjoy.
Okay.
I try not to introduce anything that I don't enjoy.
Okay.
When I introduce Wings curriculum, it's because I enjoy professional development. I love finding fun ways of getting information across.
Hmm.
So that's what, curriculum is, fun ways of teaching the content, the standards. So
Hmm.
love
Hmm.
that. My mom has a story about me and lip color.
Okay. Okay.
She says, everybody always told me I thought I was cute. All right. So she thinks she's so cute.
That's why you did it. You were a national director, a director, a sales director in the other company, right? And yeah.
But I was feeling bad about it one day, and I said, "Mom, people always say I think I'm cute." And she said, "Well, you have always been like that, baby." She said, "When I was 3 years old, I had a pocketbook, and my cousin and my sister they laughed because they said all I had in there was lip gloss and tissue." And my mom said the purse was heavier, it was bigger than me, so I would drag the purse on the ground. She said, "You always had a purse, but it was too heavy, you would drag it." So let me know that I am my authentic self. I'm not trying to be anyone else, or this is just who I have been since I was 3.
Right. Right. It
And I
was just
want everyone to feel the way I feel. My lips have always been full. I had to grow into them. And so
Mhm.
even when full lips weren't popular, Pam, I was putting Vaseline on them. I was putting clear lip gloss because I loved them. But
Right.
eventually, once I got to high school, it was a thing. Oh, she has big lips and
Botox,
bow legs. It was a thing.
right,
So
or then
whatever
she probably
people,
got that Botox in her lips or whatever they used to do, right? That
yes,
they would pay to do it
a
now, right?
thing. So to answer your question, women don't always know what to hone in on. Hone
Right.
in on what you enjoy because if not, it becomes work for you.
Mhm,
Same
mhm.
with lip color. I can't tell you how much fun I had trying all the different formulas and samples and testing out colors and trying to determine what I wanted from my company. It
Right.
was fun for me. Training,
Yeah.
professional development is fun for me. Working with legislators about on information about education in young children is fun for me. Women's empowerment is fun for me. Giving away money and
Mm,
giving away things is fun for me. So the foundation. So focus on what's fun for you.
yeah, and that keeps you young. It really
Mhm,
does. It keeps you young, keeps you youthful, and then you go and you dive into areas where you have to market and you have to do TikToks or reels or videos. That's just all part of something that's new that it's like, okay, if this is the way we're going to actually market my products, Be to Move
mhm,
Beauty, then that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'll just go on and I'll do the turn on
mhm,
the camera and doing those kind of things. I love it. And that's one of the things that the paid educator, a lot of people have degrees in teaching. This is, oh, I just can't wait to, retire. I can't stand this job. It doesn't pay me enough. But what you're saying basically is that there are other ways to look at things. You could still teach, but maybe there's a different way to teach. Maybe you can
yes.
teach like how did you this is funny to me, you went from early education all the way up to dean of college. Now, which how did I can't even explain it because I guess that's just being a teacher, but usually a teacher is in one area, right? So,
I taught early childhood education. Yeah, I was a first grade. I was a paraprofessional, which is a teacher assistant while I was in college. Finished college, became a first grade teacher, and my alma mater reached down and they were hiring for a new early childhood education instructor at the college level. You had to have at least a master's, and I did. And they went through the interview process. It was very competitive, but I ended up back in the late '90s being a college instructor. And from there, I ended up being a dean at a local college. So, and then, teaching at the university level as adjunct from there. So I've always been in education in terms of
mhm,
my career. I
mhm.
still am in education. Y'all, I work full time. I
Yeah,
still work full time. And you can still keep your job, whether it's in the classroom or not,
yes,
and
yes.
have your business and just make sure you don't have any conflicts of interest.
Yeah, yeah. This is not a conflict of interest of
No.
obviously that. But the thing too is that when you are asked to speak, you're speaking with passion and youthfulness. So when a women's organization or a church even or say it's a teachers association, those are the things where you can just kind of pull out like these are the things that I can speak on, not just because I've learned it, but you're doing it. And
Mhm.
that's I think those are the best speakers that when they're actually doing the things that they're speaking about
Yes.
instead of the theory. And so you're out there actually doing the thing. It was a while. I remember that probably when Facebook, yeah, thank you, Curtis. Curtis has a great conversation. I wonder if Curtis Brooks, if you know Curtis. Hey there. He's watching from LinkedIn
Hey,
over there. So
Curtis.
good, good. The thing that teachers for a while back in the early 2000s, we're not allowed to get on Facebook and things like that, get on
Mhm,
social
right.
media. And I think it was because they felt like the kids were gonna be on there, and then the kids I don't
Mhm.
know. What was that whole thing about teachers not being on social media? What was the mindset of it?
Anything that's new, Pam, just like when, with the pandemic and, the vaccinations first came out, anytime something is new, people are always going to, side eye it, if you will, at first.
Mhm.
So same thing with social media. I was actually working on my doctorate at University of Georgia at the time. So this was the mid, like 2009, I think was when this happened, 2008, 2009. And we had conversations about Facebook in class. And at that time, Facebook was known to be a place where exchange students or students who
Yeah.
were, away from their families could engage.
Mhm.
But we did a whole study on it in one of our classes, and you're right, the people thought it was just bad and, but,
Students
because
would
of
be
what.
coming after you or that kind of thing and
Yes,
threatening you, "You better give me a good grade," or whatever. I don't know what it was.
mhm. But there are so many different types of technology tools that we just have to learn how to use. When the pandemic hit, Zoom, we were already using Zoom when I was teaching early childhood education in the high schools. So
Oh,
we were
okay.
using it in career and technical education for professional development. So everybody else thought it was new, but it wasn't new to us that time. But
Mhm.
whoever is new to, but Zoom got up, people said bad things about it for a minute as well.
Yeah,
So anytime something is new or you don't understand it, that's how it usually goes. But all
yeah.
you have to do is figure out how to utilize it appropriately. So with the educators, it's all about what you're doing on social media. I
Mhm.
remember we had a teacher here in Atlanta who was fired from her job. She was in Italy on vacation and she had a glass of wine. So she was fired because she had a glass of wine on social media.
Wow. Wow.
So whatever, know what your county, your district allows and does not
Yeah,
allow, and you
yeah.
just make sure you follow accordingly.
Yeah, follow the protocol for
Follow
those types of
protocol.
things. That is so true. There are just so many different rules and regulations for based on each district. So
Mhm.
in terms of when people engage with you, I want to put the other website too. Do they go to drbisa.com?
Either it's
Um,
on both of them, on drbisa.com. On the homepage, we actually have where you can, get to B2Moo as well. We wanna keep you all connected, and you can also get to drbisa.com from B2Moo.
okay,
But, yes, so either
I like
one.
I
Mhm.
like that. So, is there another book in the making? I know we have the Paid Educator, which you really speak from that. You do workshops on that, and podcasts. Are you still doing the podcast?
Not as much. I do it when I feel it, because again, I do things that I enjoy,
Sure.
and
Right.
I definitely want it to be beneficial to people. More people have been asking for coaching, so
Okay.
I'm kinda teetering on, the where next, because I have to think about how much time it takes as well, you all. So I say yes sometimes, I say no, depending on my schedule, because I do enjoy life and travel, so I have
Mhm.
to balance all of that. Whatever you choose to do, just make sure you're able to balance it.
Right.
So another book in the making, I have been thinking about 10 more ways.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the 10 more ways are probably going to be the things that you have done since that book. So I'm
Mhm.
sure. Okay. That
Yeah.
would really be good because one of the things April was Financial Literacy Month, and whether you are an educator or not, you do need another stream of income if you want to live very, very comfortable because depending on the job, it may give you a raise maybe 2 or 3% a year, and then inflation goes up 5,
Mhm.
and so now you're in the so that kind of thing. So,
Mhm.
having another stream of income is really important. So,
Mhm.
if you can kinda, like, give us a little bit of a leak or a little peek of what are some of the new things that you're gonna be adding to the new book by Dr. Bisa?
Great question, a leak. And you look at the book, it is, and actually, if you go to my website, drbisa.com, you can download the companion journal as a
Oh, okay.
PDF, and you can work through it as a map to success. So,
Of course, that's what
definitely
teachers do.
all the
You can't
tools,
help it.
all
You
the
can't help it. You will probably go into a baby shower and start teaching something because you just can't help it. That's what teachers do. I love it. People who are walking in their purpose. Like that is, I mean,
Mhm.
so she has like not only the book is excellent, but now a workbook too that you could download for free. And she said one of
Mhm.
the things she loves doing is really just making other people, happy
Mhm.
and doing that kind of thing. So yeah, so we'll go there and
Mhm.
get the workbook as well.
Yeah.
But the thing that I know this was not in the paid way because these are products. These are products that are things that you enjoy, like you said.
Mhm. Mhm.
One of the things that I find that people who like to cook, I have a business coach who is my business coach, but he also teaches chefs how to take their skill as a chef and make a cooking show. Now, see,
Nice.
I'm not cooking. I don't cook, so I don't even watch cooking show, but he said that's, like, the number one thing that people watch on YouTube
Mhm.
are cooking
Wow.
shows. I had no idea because I don't watch that, but
Mhm.
those are some of the things where if you're a trained chef or even if you're not a trained chef, you just love to cook and people always ask you, then do a cooking show, and then you have enough views and
Yeah,
YouTube will pay you.
that's
So
right.
yes, that would be good. That would be good.
Yes, that's right. I definitely have been, helping people, and this may end up being a piece of it, with money and finances. I tell people, if you've never had money, you really have a different, you don't respect money the same.
Mhm.
And I say that, and I'm not talking about a dollar amount. I'm more talking about you have more month than money. Most people have more month than
Month
money left.
money.
And just
Mhm.
like educators, many educators get paid once a month, some maybe twice per month. But imagine having to go an entire month without a paycheck. But those same bills come. And what I've experienced is again by the second week of the month, people have spent that income and they're waiting on those 20 days to roll by again.
Mm.
So I want to show people how to, I call it make your money, pimp your money. And what I mean by that is living your day to day life in a way where you spend money in a way where it benefits you. And so this is really a little bit of a plug. On the April 20th, I'll be speaking on a panel with the National Council for Negro Women, so NCNW in
I
Georgia.
love that group. Mhm.
Yeah, I'll share the link. But they're doing a free webinar on next Saturday, on Saturday the 20th, and there are several of us on there who'll be talking about generational wealth. And so that's definitely important because you can have all the businesses, all the money in the world, and still be broke.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I would definitely want to. I've seen people who are my senior, and I watch how they may not have made nearly as much money even back in those times as we do, but they own their house, they own
Mm.
their car, they're retired, they can travel when they want to, they're not penny pitching. So you
Mhm.
don't have to have a six-figure or $1 million salary in order to live appropriately in the way you want, in the lifestyle you want. It's all about ensuring that you are managing your money properly. So I want to put that plug in there because that's
Yeah.
definitely a piece of it, Pam, not just
Yeah.
making the money, but knowing how to respect money and live your life accordingly, where you always have the money you need at your fingertips.
I love that. It's like that's really how Susie Orman made her money. I mean, by being good with money and talking
Mhm.
to women about money. And there, I just saw it because it's Financial Literacy Month. I saw a show where she was talking and some of the things she was saying, and she says that I think the CNN guy asked her, so how many people are financially illiterate in America, do you think?
Mhm.
And she looked and she said, probably 95%. And I'm like, "Whoa." 90 she and then she started naming some things about Roth IRA. She said, "Some people don't know what this is,"
Mhm.
and that, and she started naming like 5 or 6 things, and the journalist says, "Okay, you're stepping on my toes." He says, "I don't know some of those things." She says, "Well, financial literacy is something that you learn. You're not gonna be
Yeah,
born knowing this, and
yeah.
so it has to be."
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah.
would say that is a good area to really step into, Dr. B.
Mhm. And I
Mhm.
think so many people jump straight to stocks and investment.
Yeah, that part people kinda know. It's
They
like,
get
"Oh,
that's why people just turn out. They just are because they're illiterate, as she says, they just turn off because they don't understand. I love to go back to basics. First grade
mhm."
teacher here, former first grade teacher. I like
Yes,
to go
yes.
back to basics from the day to day before you get to the stocks, the day to day. I invest widely, but I'm not talking about that. I'm more talking about, I know it's important for sure, Pam, yes, but I definitely think people, we go over people's head, we talk above their heads, and we don't help
Yeah.
them with the day to day. They can't find $50 to invest because they don't have it.
Mhm.
But what
Right.
if we help them in their daily life to have it and then some? So I want to find those steps. I want to go back to those steps that people miss and
Yes.
help people. And again, not making a whole to do out of it, but definitely for my fellow educators and anyone who has a heart for entrepreneurship.
That is good. That is good. One of the things that you always hear, Susie used to always say this on when she was on Oprah too, is about Starbucks. She says, "Oh, people pay $5, $6 for Starbucks and this and that," and Oprah was said, "But I love Starbucks." She says, "Yeah, but if you do the math over so many years," she says, "if someone does a Starbucks made 3 times a week for so many years." If they're in their 20s, and by the time they're 50, they would have spent, I think she said it was like almost a $500,000. She said, wouldn't you rather have that $500,000? And so it was like, $500,000, Starbucks. It's like, okay, well, hopefully maybe they're buying stock in Starbucks too or something. I don't know. We just gotta balance it out. That's the thing. Just gotta balance it out.
Yeah.
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 Are you even using the app to start with? Again, back to basics. Are you using the Starbucks app when you go? Are you earning those stars? Are you getting your free
Yeah.
coffee? Are
Yeah.
you using are you using your card versus your debit card? I tell my friends all the time, I do not want to see any cash or any debit cards because you don't need to use your cash and debit card. I don't want to get far off here, but I've flown to Hawaii for free. I've flown to Vegas for free,
Wow.
just on my day-to-day living
On your
because it's
point.
money I was going to spend anyway. So it's all about, again, how you spend your money and what you use, and not running up interest on anything. So again, I don't want to get too far into it, but
That sounds
next
like a good book. That is, I see you're excited about that, and those are things when you say, "Wait a minute, flying to Hawaii for free." Okay, so we need to know we need to know those secrets. We need to put that into a book and then make the workbook. Okay.
first class at that. I've never paid for first class,
Oh my
never.
God, I
So
love it.
anyway, another
It
time,
is.
but
It
I think
is.
I
It
just want
is.
to show people how to live without they watch these reality shows and they go out and pay for what others are getting for free. So
Wow, wow, I love it, I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining today's Speakers Magazine. You're in the April issue as well, and then also too, you're in the other issue as well. But this is really, I would like to see this on billboards. They could scan the QR code and that kind of thing. But congratulations on that because this is major. This is a major deal. On the back of this, you saw Kim Coles was here on the back
yeah.
as well. So a lot of people are going to be knowing about that. I mean, so I like the fact that it's very simple, but the way you market it is just it's fun. You look like you're having fun with it and everything. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So I want people to make sure that they go there. I mean, it's one of the things like you're gonna buy makeup all the time anyway. So support. This is me at Speakers Magazine. We promote African American speakers. So promote African American businesses as well. So if you're gonna buy a product anyway, buy it from someone that will help you in your community within our own African American community. I have another client that does dryer sheets. We have to have dryer sheets anyway. And so hers is called Cozy and it doesn't have all the chemicals in it and that kind of thing. So she's really bringing that to market as well. So, and she's also north of 50 as well. So it's never too late to start something
Lord.
new. If you have a God idea, you need to activate it. So I'm glad that you're doing those things and really making a success with it as well. So thank you so much, Dr. Bisa. This has been really good. Um, Make sure that you go to Dr. Bisa's website, download that workbook that she has there about the paid educator. It doesn't have to be an educator, but just different ways to get paid and make sure you're leveraging your all your skills, gifts, and talents. So,
Mhm.
all righty. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. God bless you.
You too, Pam. Always great to see you.
Take care. Mhm. So drbisa.com, make sure that you go there, get all the information. Thank you for joining us today. Those that are live. We're going to have show notes down here of all the things that we kind of talked about. So you'll see that later. And then you'll see the clips. You'll follow us. She's also on Instagram. So follow us on Instagram as well. So make sure that you do that. Well, with that, I am out of here. I am Dr. Pam Perry. Thanks so much for joining us.